Let's just go around. Let's just go around the room and start from.
Did you record to the cloud?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We'll start from Tiago and
Okay.
just go around and just say your name.
Hello, I'm Tiago Keel, a community board member, and freshman college student. Lived in Harlem all my life. Yeah, I'm a member of this committee as well as the arts and culture. So, yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Justin Dent. Similar to Tiago, I've lived in Harlem on 141st Street my whole life. And a member of Community Board 9 and of this committee, and also work in the education nonprofit space, providing programs to minority and underserved students in the U.S. and regionally.
I'll talk more about our programs later.
I'm Andrew Gann. Nice to be here. I am the executive director of the Broadway Mall Association, where the organization takes care of the center medians of Broadway from 168 to 70th Street. And we want to talk about some exciting public art programs.
I'm the trainer. I live up on 143rd, and I used to be a community board member. Now I'm a public member.
My name is Natasha Kyo. This is my first time attending a meeting, and I have a project I've been working on I would like to share with you.
Hi, I'm Hagen Feeney. I'm a third year in college. I'm not from around here, I go to school around here.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Siobhan Darris. I'm Harlem native. I grew up in Esplanade Gardens. Today I run a youth literacy organization in Harlem called the Bridging Team.
Kendra Kruger, STEM Education Outreach Manager at CUNY's Advanced Science Research Center, just up the hill at the City College campus. STEM education programs there.
Hi, I'm May. I go to school at BMCC. This is my first time attending a board meeting, so I'm just here to gather some information for my school project.
How long have you been at BMCC?
This is my second year.
This friend of mine was the head of the English department. She just passed away, so I'll talk to you later. Anita.
It's you.
No,
Lydia.
No, I know, it's Lydia
Oh.
Gerson. I've lived all over the city. So I'm not a native, but I'm a Nat native. And I'm retired, but I worked at CUNY for most of my working life.
I'm Kate Marcus. I'm one of the children's librarians at George Bruce Library on 125th and Amsterdam, and I have some calendars on that back table there, and we have a nice program, the Mud Kitchen, for another 2 weeks. So if you have little ones, you can feel free to let them know about it. It's fun. We have a garden next door to the library.
I'm Veronica Savage. I'm a social worker and public educator by profession. I've got a downtown, uptown connection, raised on the Lower East Side, but raised my family in West Harlem. And I'm on this committee as a new member.
So hi, welcome everyone this evening. My name is Deirdre McIntosh Brown, and I'm one of the co-chairs of the Youth Education Libraries Committee, along with Shanika Wilson, who's on our way, and I'm just excited that you're all here and looking forward to hearing your presentations. So let's get started. I'm gonna start off with Natasha. Here, Natasha.
Yes, I shared with you a Google slide, if it's possible to pull it up. I don't know how. Yeah, I sent it to Steve. You know, I can log in on this computer. I'm sorry.
Oh, look who's here.
Well, how?
Would it be easier for someone to go while I? Yeah, because I'm sorry,
I don't really need to pull up this, get the presentation as well.
Right.
I think.
Who's sorry. Okay, I can just send it to this And if someone else has a presentation, you will share with this Gmail, and then I might be able to use it.
Or just get on. And you're already on the Zoom, right?
I am, and I was just gonna screen share from my laptop.
Yeah. Can you check if you can right now?
Oh.
Yeah.
This is for a purpose. Yeah, good. Did you ever take any English classes there? Yeah, last year. Just the name Claire Pamphlet, Professor Pamphlet. Maybe we didn't have. Yeah. She was the chair. Oh, you were close. You my best friend. Oh, I'm sorry for your news.
I love this. I was okay. I was sort of like, sit with our,
Okay, I apologize. Okay. Oh, okay. And now I know how to do it for this. Thank you for your patience. Absolutely.
come back and be our TA. Right?
Yeah, that's.
So. Will you do the keys for me?
Yeah.
I can just stand on this side, never mind. Okay, so the project that I want to share with you all is called Teens Helping Teens, and it has to do with the Link NYC kiosks, which I'm sure you've seen walking around New York, or the screens on two sides that people can charge their phone, that often have like fun facts and public health information, stuff like that. The goals and impact. The goal of the Teens Helping Team campaign is to feature the voices and artwork of young people in our community in order to raise awareness about and support mental health. It will provide teens with the opportunity to see their work on the streets with their friends, family, and neighbors. Being able to use the Link NYC kiosks brings this campaign, Being able to use the Link NYC kiosks brings mental health from something often ignored into the everyday lives of members of our community. It will also start important conversations about youth and mental health. And then these are some examples that my lovely mother has managed to put on the streets of NYC already. First, we have an example both as an image and a template, so kind of visually, and then the same example on taking a picture from the sidewalk. And we have a different example too. So these submissions were artwork that was submitted by youth and by teenagers themselves. We have a credit, which of course can be anonymous due to safety concerns, and anonymity is important, especially when dealing with teenagers. So we have a picture taken by a teenager and a quote about mental health that they wanted to share with people. Creation. We encourage more forms of media, including drawing, digital, and collage. I do an egg on a piece of toast, and the quotation for this is sunny side up, a positive outlook can make your day. So these are the kinds of things that we want to have produced by youth and a platform to be able to share their artwork. Outreach. I will be collaborating with the mental health club at my school to find students passionate about the topic who have messages and pieces of art that they want to share. I will also be sending emails out to parent-teacher associations to potentially involve more schools. Moving forward, I like to collaborate with other community boards to involve more people. It is actually relatively recent, so I didn't make a slide for it, but there's a wonderful organization called This Teenage Life, who I had a conversation with the leader of This Teenage Life, who has a group of about 50 teenagers who work on mental health podcasts and information. They do artwork about it. They do outreach for it. They have a wonderful website if you want to check it out. It's called This Teenage Life. And it's a good example of a pre-existing organization that has already agreed and wanted to collaborate with us if we're able to platform ideas like this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would love to take any questions, and I want to ask all of you, youth that you know that might want to participate in this, and think about how you guys can, what you would want to see in your daily lives, what you want to see heard about mental health. So I would love to take any questions, and I want to pose that question to you. Thank you so much.
I have a question for you, but I
Yes.
want to go around the room first, so does anyone else have any questions for the function? All right, well, I'll get us started. What are your rebuttals to the teenagers who are like, oh, no, I don't want to participate, I don't want to be embarrassed? I mean, like, kids are so in their head, and they don't realize, like, the picture that, with the cat, there's somebody who just like a poster cat, and that, like, a lot of kids, I see a lot of kids that are like, oh, yeah, I like that, I have a cat, blah, blah, but how do you get them out of their head? Have you encountered that, and what do you tell them?
Well, I think that this is not for everyone. I think that a lot of people, it's hard for people to get out of this mindset of like, I'm putting my name on this, I'm scared to share my work on this. But I think a really good way to get past that is showing people that other people are willing to do it. And maybe if they see it from the perspective of being able to see it first and understand that other people are passionate about this first, and they see something like this on the street, walking with their mom, walking with their friends, that'll kind of open that door for them. And they might not be so self-conscious about sharing something like this.
Do you have someone, I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
I just have a quick follow, I thought you have someone where they can see all of the links that have been submitted by
That's a
teenagers.
very good question. My mom sent me the CB9 public health form, so I'm sure you can tell me more about that. But there's on page
Put the pressure on.
on the 19th page, I remember because I had sent this to someone, on the 19th page of the Community 9 Board Public Health Forum, there was an example of a bunch of things that have been submitted on Link NYC kiosk, a bunch of the templates that look like this, so you know, kind of digitally. And this was of course included in that. So I would be able to share the CB9 Public Health Forum with them, and I absolutely should have a collection of more of these finished templates to be able to share.
That would be great.
So just so everyone knows, the first one we did on the Link NYC kiosks was about the COVID vaccine. And then the second one was about mental health that I think Laquita had the idea. Because and I thought, that was a great idea, and she ended up introducing me to, I think, more than 10 partner organizations in the community. And so CB9 and these organizations in the community did Link NYC PSAs together. That was like amazing, beyond our wildest dreams. And then Tasha noticed that there were 2 teams, and she's like, why not more? It's not easy. I don't know if it's possible, right? But we'll try. Okay, so my question for you is, all of the articles, is there, or will there be any links, or are there any links, like, let's say that someone actually has mental health issue and wants to connect, is there any kind of connection that will lead them somewhere else? Because you don't want to post, our piece of art may have someone spark something in someone, or they identify with it and they want to outreach or reach out, for help.
Just trigger.
Exactly. I think that that's super important. This is actually something that I've already thought about in making these pieces, and I've done some preliminary research on things like the Teenage Mental Health Hotline and the mental health hotline open. That's not just specific for teenagers. So it would be wonderful if we can use this as a platform for mental health hotline numbers, mental health resources, information. It's hard to put a URL on this, but we can actually put a QR code.
Right.
And then, like I mentioned, there's a pre-existing teenage health hotline that I could put the phone number on right there on the image.
I think that would be great.
I think.
I would just share someone who works with, referrals all the time, they change often, so really putting
that's a good
URLs
point.
that you know are gonna be consistent and be around for a while, like the 988,
Absolutely.
that's supported, right, by the city and nationally, and so something that you won't have to update often is
That's
sometimes.
super helpful.
And then free
Yes.
is another big barrier, right?
Accessible.
So Teen Space, I think, in New York City right now, to anyone who's 17 or under, so free and a
Consistent.
referral that's gonna be around a while.
That's super.
I think that we should definitely, would love to hear, Tasha has thought about this more than I have, but to hear, any suggestions that you might have and advice. I think these QR codes from last year go to CB9. And so the partner organizations went to the partner organizations. But these that were made by the teenagers, I think, went to CB9, so they could contact this office for up-to-date information. But it will just be great to have some other outreach so they can just, they're coming along, something's happening, an event is happening, they can just reach out.
Also, this isn't, as teens aren't my purview, but we do have a young adult librarian at George Bruce, and this sounds very much up her alley, so I can get you in touch with her.
Yes, that's wonderful.
And I think a lot of, her teams that come in, like, we have a brand new makerspace, so I'm sure there are tons of
Thank you.
teams who would want to make something for it.
This is such a valuable way to outreach. Thank you.
Yeah, and I don't know if I missed this, but so if other teams wanted to submit, is there like a form for them to fill out? And then you were talking about the template, is that for like people want to submit this separately to the NYC link?
In terms of actualization, I have these examples and I have the template. So I have kind of on Adobe these different layers, the ways to input the text, the way to input the image. And then you're absolutely right. The next step would be a way to intake these submissions. So right now in my head, it's just like people emailing me, which is obviously not ideal. So I think that I mentioned a form is smart. I should do maybe a Google form or a link that I can send out. Absolutely, that'll help me in the next steps of as I try to outreach to people.
And something you could do for, if you want to put a lot of these resources or even a submission all in together, you can make a link tree that links from the QR code.
That's true.
That's what we do when we need to like update links more regularly that might be changing.
And that's a good way to connect people to organizations I work with. Like this Teenage Life is completely online, but they have a wonderful podcast. They have wonderful videos. They have good resources. That's a good way to organize. So yeah, I can kind of connect all these things. I don't think she's good. Thank you.
Any questions from anyone online? No.
Thank you all so
So
much. for your
Tasha, I
time.
want to say thank you, I mean, at least,
Thank you also. Should I switch the slides to the next person?
yes, you can.
Okay.
Naturally, Donna, Tasha, come back. Please come back as you get further along with your project.
Thank
and update us.
Would love to.
Okay, so next up, we have Ann Kemp from Harlem School of the Arts.
Hi,
Ann,
I'm
the floor is yours.
Chair. He's doing technology on the spot. Ah, okay.
Dave, could you move a little to the left?
I'm just gonna leave it like that.
That's
instead of
perfect.
really- Okay, so, hi, everyone, I'm Ann Kim, I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships and Outreach at Harlem School of the Arts. I invited my colleague, Ezekwe Providence, who is on the screen, I don't know if you can see. To speak in a couple of minutes, but for those of you who don't know, Harlem School of the Arts is an after-school performing arts school located at 141st and St. Nick's. We were founded 60 years ago by the groundbreaking, amazing opera singer Dorothy Maynor, who started Harlem School of the Arts in the basement of a church, tiny church on 141st and St. Nick. It's her husband's church. 60 years later, we're now right next door. She started out with 10 students. We now serve about 2,000 students annually through in-school and outreach programs, all throughout the department, the discipline. So it's visual arts, it's music, it's dance, it's theater, it's musical theater. And so today I just wanted to mention a couple of free programs that we're offering the public, the youth, and then also just to talk about a specific program, programmatic idea that I wanted to pitch. And so this first one is called Game On. We have a game creating a class which is free to the public. It's for ages 12 to 18. It takes place on Saturdays from 2:30 to 5:30. As I said, completely free to students of that age group. It teaches them game design. As you can see, they work on things like Fortnite creation, introduction to Unreal Engine. I don't know what any of these are, but I'm not teaching the class, so that's great. It's just a really, video game design is a burgeoning profession, is not the right word, but it's becoming very popular and is very lucrative. And it's something that all youth can really relate to. So it's something that we want to offer our youth so that they have this skill set and then can, you know, possibly carry on into their professional lives. The next presentation, next slide is our fall production called the African Mean Girls play. And it opened this past weekend. It's going on again this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday. We have shows at 7 and on Saturday at 2 and at 7 o'clock. It is actually not free. I lied a little bit before, but the tickets are very affordable and we do offer discounts as well for students and for seniors. And I encourage all of you to come if you can, or, you know, send your kids, your youth. It's a really amazing, funny play. And our kids, our student theater actors are just amazing. This next slide is something that is very exciting. It's this initiative that we're using to recruit for a new choir called the Natalie Cole Community Concert Choir. It's a mouthful. But what it is an audition to join our free choir, which happens every Saturday. Every Tuesday and Thursday for free, from 4:30 to 6:30. All throughout the year, kids who win this audition, by win, I really mean we're gonna take like a lot of people. We really want a lot of people because we want to fill out the choir. So we're kind of not turning that many people away. We want kids to come to ASA. We want them to experience this amazing opportunity to have free coachings, free private lessons all throughout the year. And on that flyer, you'll also see another date, which is, so the audition is happening on November 18th. The concert with acclaimed gospel singer Latrice Pace is happening on that Friday, the 22nd. So this woman is, she's famous for being part of the Anointed Pace Sisters. They're known as Atlanta's first family of gospel. And so she is going to be gracing us with her presence that whole week, listening to students, coaching them, doing master classes with them, and then performing with them on the 22nd at HSA. So if you don't know anyone who would like to audition, at least please come to the concert because that is totally free as well. And it's going to be an amazing concert. This next slide is there because I wanted to talk about, and this is where Ezekwe will come in, but HSA has a mural program. And I'm putting this slide up because there are so many empty spaces throughout the city, especially, maybe not especially, but there are so many in the CB9 district that could really use some beautification. And I talked about this at the landmarks meeting last week, and then also at the arts and culture meeting earlier last month, that, you know, utilizing these spaces as a way to activate communities, activate inspiration. This particular photo, and this one actually comes from Riverbank State Park. I go for my runs on that track sometimes, and I look at this empty, barren wall every day, and I think, oh my gosh, if we could only have beautiful artwork. And what better way to beautify a space than to have students who can beautify that space. And so I invited Ezekwe because he is the lead instructor for our mural program. And Ezekwe, are you there? Can you? Ezekwe?
Here.
Oh, okay. All right, great. Yes. So I'm going to turn it over to you to talk a little bit more about the murals program and the projects that you've recently done with your students.
If you wouldn't mind, Ann, maybe a slide or a picture up of any of the recent, you know, photos that we're taking of projects could be cool. I kind of know the spiel. So my name's Ezekwe Providence. I am the facilitator of the mural. I call it just the mural workshop because murals are what we work on. And it is a workshop versus a class to me, in that New York City right now is our classroom. It was interesting this past weekend being physically in HSA because we've been off location literally for about the past 2 months dealing with projects. This project right here, we actually completed. So my workshop is a way of introducing some students and giving other students more practice in the realm of public works. We create installations through relationships that the school has with various New York City partners, many of them that have just been recently developed. And the students appreciate and are guided through the process from concept to creating a theme with the client and understanding what their needs are and what it is that we're doing in the location, to creating sketches. And it's just a grueling process at times at first before we even get green lighted to go into a space upon final approval of those sketches to actually go in and start creating what some may feel is some magic that the students possess. This particular piece was taken, a photo taken at 630 Flushing Avenue in Brooklyn, along with this photo as well. And this project was probably the largest project that we had. This was the last project. It's you're going through the slides, Anne, because I know that time is of the essence. This was the last installation that's a permanent installation at 630 Flushing. And they liked us so much that after doing the gallery with the Godzilla looking piece and the other really cool anime character, which was all based on a movie theme for that project in the IW gallery, we worked on 2 walls that were like, I think about 80 feet long to about 8 feet high. And students had to select their favorite movie to give celebration to and replicate in some visual fashion. This project here, we found out the partners in the building. It's a huge space, the old Pfizer building, and there are many companies that have rented space to continue conducting their business in whatever fashion that is. And we tried to really celebrate all of the industries in the building with this particular installation. You want to go to the next slide, Anne? Since we're giving
I think, well, yeah, I didn't have any pictures of murals.
No worries.
Sorry.
I'll give the last kind of, I guess, shout out and plug to the last partner that we've dealt with, which was Wallman Rink at Central Park. We completed 4 walls for their ice skating season. This was our 3rd season working with them because we've done so well over the past 2. And I guess that they really liked the energy and the work that we've brought. The whole idea that I try to impress upon students is, one, we are the visual problem solvers, if you want to call it for lack of a better term, when it comes to projects and the thought process of what do we want to have visually in this particular space, because oftentimes some people have some idea as far as the clients, but they may not have that artistic kind of creative vision. And the students have been really, really great about meeting the road very quickly, because this is, like I said, in the community of New York City, nothing is perfect. So we're constantly working things out and resolving challenges that we may have in dealing with the project to ultimately bring some level of beautification. The idea is to be able to do this hopefully as much as we can, as much energy as the students muster up. This is all student led. I guide them through it. Hopefully I can continue to be a great coach in really bringing out the best in them. And the students range from, right now, they're all in middle school, freshman to senior. The past 2 years, we've had some middle school students as well. And for me, the idea is not so much how old are you, and not even how much experience have you had necessarily in terms of middle school versus high school, but whether or not you are ready to meet the challenge of being that visual problem solver. And if you're ready to meet that criteria, we are all set to go. This journey is not, as I say to the students lovingly, this is not for the weak of heart. You have to really be built, as I say, for this. And the mantra in our workshop is iron sharpens iron. So if you're willing to come and roll up your sleeves and work hard, my job is to show you process and how to resolve things when it may be challenging for the students or not. And we just work in collaboration. I really love this project because if you would have asked me 3 years ago when I started in this, I would have never thought it would have taken this life on. And I'm really proud to have a talented group of young people that in some way, shape, or form, answer the bell when we ring it to go in and, as Mr. Lovelace, the head of the Visual Arts and Design Department, says, create magic. I'm really happy to be here and present, and I'm hoping that in the very near future, as Ann was so astutely pointing out, there's so many walls, especially in Community Board 9, so many spaces that could use this type of beautification and love, as I call it overall. It would be great to be able to see what the next project may hold for us, and hopefully it may be in my beloved Harlem, which I've been born and bred. Harlem Hospital, 1972, and still here to represent and be a part of whatever we can do to make this community and space better. Thank you.
Thanks, Azika Ray.
Thank you.
I just want to add really quickly that another thing I love about this program is that it really teaches the kids how to give back to the community, so that they're actually integrated through their art. So anyway, that was. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, and I'll give you my card.
No, I just wanted to observe that I was in Berlin recently, and we were in one of the junkets we went on. It was a learning experience. They had the Berlin Wall, which was taken down, and I had the original artist take us through. I mean, it was his idea. Right now his name escapes me, but it was his idea to start painting that, and then artists from all around the world came, and it's really it was somewhat moving, overwhelming on your walk. So this is in a sense, and also number two is my background also is in theater and the arts, and I think a lot of it has been cut back in these public schools, which is really a detriment. It may even be contributory to depression in young people because they don't have that ability to express. So it could be nothing more important. What about your funding? So where do you get funding for the programs?
We get funding from various sources. I mean, we do have grants for certain specific projects. We have some that go towards operational things. Yeah, it really just depends on the program, but we also collect a small amount of tuition, which helps with operational costs, but we're always looking for funding sources.
Nothing from the Board of Ed, showing my age, the Department of Education, there's no funding from that area?
We fund some of our outreach residencies through the DOE, yes.
Okay.
But we're always looking.
Oh, go ahead, Andrew.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, the Broadway Mall would love to work. We have, about 30 malls on Broadway with really ugly, end cap walls that are, the Parks Department calls it Battleship Gray. So we would love to beautify those walls. So if we could
Amazing.
have kids help and personalize it and make it part of the neighborhood, we are all for that.
I will give you my card. You'll be in touch.
Any more questions? There are any other questions?
I'm gonna put a pitch for the CB9 gate, like our offices. But also, use some lifting. I was gonna ask Mr. Providence, does the work continue during the winter? I would assume working outside, doing murals in the winter is another layer of challenge.
Yes, it is. We have not worked outside on a location when it's been cold. Even Wallman Rink, while the weather started changing, we were indoors. This is, for me at least, in being with the school in this capacity, very uncharted territory. And I think a lot of it is the negotiation that can happen when we're dealing with specific locations. Just to say, if it was going to be somewhere outdoors and the elements obviously paint not being affected and obviously humans not being affected. If it's a little challenging, just having ways of appreciating that and trying to resolve, here's a little warm area to get, to warm up if you need to. Whatever that is, I mean, that's kind of in the space that I think the spirit of this workshop is in and working in the community. And just to piggyback quickly on what Ann had said, as far as giving back, for me, some can very poignantly phrase it that way. I don't feel that I've ever left the community. So it's almost like my home and my family. Giving back is not something that I have to kind of coin in some sort of way. It's just something that's done. It's something that's part of being a member of that community and that family, or in this case, this community and family, to just do what I can do at the best that the best that I can. What I have learned from this, and I appreciate the question about funding, before I really embarked, not even in this workshop, but just more into the arts and appreciating the work that it takes, I really started to understand, like, this is real work. Just like going and making food, just like going and waiting tables, just like teaching. I mean, whatever job you can fathom, there are levels to it where some may be more physically grueling in some ways. But like these young people are going out and working. And the comment about funding is important because the better that road can be paved for particular projects, to me, in my eyes, as the coach, the more that we'll be able to do in the long run, because we just have that support from family, from home, to get the best product possible out.
I'll make one quick comment. So first, thank you both for your presentation. It's very exciting. All the programs that are happening, very excited as usual. But Ann, you said something about, and Ms. Providence just touched on it, about giving back to the community. That is, do not underestimate that. That's really important, because if you pour into where you live, you find value in it. And if you find value in it, you begin to treat it differently. You begin to look at it differently, and you see the residents as people, and not just someone on the street that you can brush past or be rude to or what have you. We have a disconnect. I mean, I don't want to blame the internet because I'm starting to sound like my mom. I remember the parents, I was in the 80s and they were like war on TV and they didn't want the violent video games, and now here I am. I love TikTok. You have to get your algorithm correctly, and that's really that's the trick to it. But we have a disconnect. COVID made it just that much worse, and there is not a lot of togetherness and not a lot of community. We need it. So please don't underestimate that. That's really important. So please keep up the good work and let us know how we can assist. Thank you so much.
I have a question. So I know you were talking about some of your free programming, and I wanted to find out about, registration, enrollment. Are they ongoing, or is it like at the start of a semester, start of a season? I know they do have.
Registration for a lot of our classes is closed, but as I said, we have a bunch of free programs. So like the choir is free and ongoing enrollment on a rolling basis. Our advanced jazz bands, we have 3 jazz band programs actually. They're all free and they're all on a rolling basis. And the Game On also rolling basis. What else? Talent Search. So yeah, that's part of the choir. So yes.
I do know, if I remember when Mr. Horton was here, is there like a drop-in during the evening, some kind of, not tutorial, but is it just arts or musically based? I know that you can drop in like Teen Scholars or something like that.
We do have a Keenan Scholars program. Do you know about that? Actually?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I should have brought that flyer, actually. I totally forgot to do that, but that is another program that is free for teenagers.
Okay.
We still have a lot of spots left for that. You can't imagine how difficult it is for people to get people to sign up for a free class, actually, believe it or not. We have 50 open slots. And
50
I think,
okay.
yes, and I believe we only have about 10 signed up for it. 10 kids in that class. What age is this? But I've heard, it's really amazing. It's for music and for visual arts. Yeah, and it's homework help as well as the arts classes, so.
Yeah, you go online, look for it, and you just fill out the Google form, the Google form online.
For Keenan Scholar, yeah, if you go on our website, it actually, so www.hsanyc.org, you can access all of the free classes on the website. And it's either a Google form like for Keenan Scholars, or you do it through what our system is called ASAP, through registration. Or if you have trouble, you can always just contact me.
Right. I remember the.
I just want to ask, you have, flyers about that, we can get it out to some of our community.
Yeah, we can ask.
I'll send you digital flyers.
Okay,
For the
thank
ones
you.
that I forgot.
Yeah.
I was about to say, for the library, for our YA librarian, and sounds like kind of things you would also, like
Yeah.
to get in on, so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my kids are too young, but, hers, yeah, so.
Can you get the digital flyer from Deirdre? Or
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and, I, I brought my cards.
I'll also give you a
so
card. Yeah,
we can-
and I'll get yours as well.
Sorry, just one last question. And with, community scholarships, I know that HSA, for their programs offer community scholarships. Can you tell us just a tad bit about that?
We do. So we offer something called Merit Aid Scholarship, but it's really to help the community who don't have the resources, who can't otherwise afford classes. And that is funded very generously through the Avon's scholarship fund. And so it's really on a case-by-case basis. We are sort of putting it out to the community that anyone that you know who is interested in a really quality arts education, who does not have the resources, please reach out to me directly. And I will, I'll take care of that. There has to be, obviously like a financial threshold. There has to be a real need for it, financially for the student. But yes, we are encouraging people to come and take advantage of that opportunity.
All right, great, excellent. Thank you so much, Anne, for your presentation. Okay, great. I'm not sure, I don't see Charlene. America Scores. Online. Is there anyone online from America Scores? Nope, not at the moment. So let's see, Jolisa Beavers, Forward Inclusion. Joe?
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Oh, we get responses from folks in the room too. That's pretty cool. I probably should have came in person. I'm a little under the weather, and for some reason, I'm forgetting that we have in-person meetings. And also, excuse my toddler who's also homesick.
Feel better.
Yeah.
This ain't feel better, baby. No, not okay. So I presented before. I am the executive director and founder of Forward Inclusion, a nonprofit committed to youth advocacy and leadership. I am going to be presenting quickly today for all the reasons of the things going on in my background. But I really wanted to share a collaboration event that we're having with CODA Alliance. So CODA have facilitated for the economics committee last week. CODA is an organization that focuses on women's equity for Black and Hispanic communities. And then Forward Inclusion, our mission is to create the conditions that youth from marginalized populations need to be successful in life. So there's a for and forward, and we provide programs for youth, educators, parents and guardians, and community organizations, which is the for and forward inclusion. Our programs have operated across West Harlem and all of Harlem, as well as Queens, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. So really the New York City metropolitan area. We facilitated bully prevention workshops for families that really work to shift the idea of bullying from a school-based issue to the systemic abuse of power. And then last year, we provided and executed our financial literacy workshop, which allows families to think about what are the barriers to receiving the financial circumstances and situations that they want in life. So they think about things like what was family like, what was my communications of funding and money like for family when I was growing up. What are the things that I've been told, and what are the systemic issues that kind of create me from receiving the financial situation that I want in my life. And then we talk about what are your goals. So we had folks coming in from all different ages. We had an 11-year-old that participated and said, "Oh, I'm going to be a police officer," or "I'm going to be this person," or "I'm going to be a pilot when I get older." And then we had older adults that came in and said, "Hey, I always had dreams of being a social worker, and I'm actually thinking about going back to school." So we kind of focused on what do those goals look like. Let's develop SMART goals, and let's make sure that they're feasible, right, and timely, and they're within reach. So we focus on our small wins in the program and did some one-on-one work. So I'm sharing those things so that you all know, like, this is what our programs kind of look like when we actually implement them in communities, low to moderate income communities, and really focusing on what the community needs. So we've been funded by the West Harlem Development Corporation for 4 years now. We've worked with young adults working to engage young adults that are disconnected, meaning not working and not in school. Then we worked with high school students that are in high violence areas and communities, working with Urban Assembly School of Arts last year, as well as hosting a Saturday program. And then this year we decided to focus on healing for high school students and families. And what does that actually look like? So we decided to expand and really grow and implement a collaborative project called the Harlem Healing Collaborative Project, which is going to be held at CODA. So they're on St. Nicholas, if you're not familiar, like 151st of St. Nicholas. We'll be holding our events there. It's going to be a full year event, starting with 7 programs, starting December 7th, and then more programs in the winter. So we would like everyone who participates in the program to participate in the entire program, the winter and the spring. However, you can decide to come to the workshops that your schedule allows. So today I'm talking to you specifically about that program, collaborative program, and we're getting started with informational sessions. So this is what I need everyone in the room to know. We're getting started with informational sessions this Saturday at the Hamilton Grange Library, Saturday at 11:30. Then we're holding another in-person informational workshop at the Columbia Forum on the 23rd. So that's this Saturday and next Saturday that we'll be holding informational workshops that everyone in the family can join. You'll get some gift bags. You'll get a taste of what it's like to participate in our program, what are our workshops like, and then we'll get started on December 7th. So that was a lot. You'll get some flyers directly after this meeting. Folks already have the flyers. Do you have any questions?
You're doing a lot, Melissa. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, thank you.
And you said she took the flyers, I think, on email. But the Harlem, what was the thing you just mentioned,
Harlem Healing Collaborative.
Yes. Melissa, do you have verbiage about that yet?
Yeah, so I just emailed you all like 20 minutes ago.
Okay, all right, good. Thank you, thank you,
Great,
thank you.
thank you.
Yes, please feel better and tell your small person hello.
Yes, sorry. This is just so everyone knows who wasn't here if I facilitated previously. This has never happened before with my toddler in the background deciding to be a part of the workshops. It's never happened. But from now on, I'll just be in person because, getting used to the fact that
No, you're at youth education level. You is the first one. Right. Okay.
Jalissa, I also just want to say I'd love to get your email address. Like if you have any students that are looking for like STEM career pathways and connecting with CUNY and stuff like that, I'm happy to help provide resources.
Love that. Just put my email in the chat. Let's connect. I love that.
Let me take a picture of my phone.
We'll make sure.
Okay.
We'll make sure you can make sure you can. All right, great. Thanks, Jalissa.
All right, feel better.
Or Joe. Okay, great. So next up we have Andrew and Dana from the Broadway Malls Association, of which I'm a part. So-
Yeah, Donna, yes, Donna, hey Donna, are you there? Donna said, yeah, Donna's, helping navigate the
So she
slides.
is here.
Yeah. she's
Hey,
there.
Donna.
Yes, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, I had a presentation. I was wondering if I
So-
could.
So we have, I think, used this opportunity to say that we have moved into the neighborhood, you know, since 1987, the Broadway Mall Association headquarters was down on the Upper West Side. Our main office is on 73rd and Broadway, but, last month we moved into a space at the Church of the Intercession, 155th. And, it gives us a full-time presence, and it meant that it only took me 2 stops to get here, so I'm very happy. We're excited because we have been doing public art since 2005 on the malls, and we have several artworks in the MCB9 neighborhood, beginning on 117th Street. It's this beautiful piece. It's the work is by Sean Scully, who's a Irish American artist, and the work is very much informed by his work when he was a youth working in a box factory in London, and he learned all about stacking things. So this is the one by Columbia University and Columbia Colors. We also have one up at 157th Street at Ilka Tanya Payan Park, and one up at Mitchell Square. But there's 7 of these up and down Broadway, and what's really exciting is that Teachers College has put together these curriculum for K through 12 students, youth, to experience this art in a way that we've never done before at BMA, where, you know, you can either do it online, you can, there's all sorts of links to Sean Scully's work, but it also challenges students to experience the art in a different way. And I think, you know, based on the themes that we've been talking about, I really feel that it kind of meets the moment of, you know, especially nowadays after COVID, when we all need a little art in our lives, you know, especially children. But Donna, do you want to scroll through a little bit?
Yeah, is everybody able to see this?
Yeah, and
That's
take it away.
great.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, so first we can tell you about something that we do that's not public art related. If you know us, we take care of the malls between 70th Street and 168th Street. And our biggest initiative currently is called the Great Greenway. It's something we started in 2024, and it's an ecological restoration plan to redesign all of the malls. So the malls, we are looking to restore them with native plants to encourage biodiversity. So currently 4 malls have been restored. They've been restored at 164th Street, 150th Street, 96th, and 86th. And the goal is to have eventually restored all of them. The ones that are currently restored serve as test malls for us to be able to see what works and what doesn't, to be able to move forward with all the restorations.
I do want to add to that, one thing that we're seeking, you know, when we talk about STEM, is coordination with local schools to get kids out, because we need to collect data. You know, there's one of the things that, as Donna mentioned, we did a pollinator garden on 150th Street, and as soon as you put in these flowering plants, the bees come, the butterflies come, but we need people to count these bees and butterflies and really experience nature living in, you know, New York City and Manhattan, and at the same time, you know, we also need just hands to help us do plantings. We did a couple months ago, Columbia University group of students, and went out just to clean and plant bulbs or plant perennials and things like that. So, and we really want to make this community project. So, you know, along with the art. So take it back, Don. Keep going.
Yeah, so now I'll talk a bit about the sculptures themselves. So this very exciting public art display went up this summer, and it's going to be up through March 2025. So there are 7 total sculptures. The first one being the one at 167th, and then the last one being at 64th Street, Dante Park, right by Lincoln Center. So they spread out all throughout the Broadway malls, and they're all very different.
but they're all very large. If you've walked by one, you know they're very monumental in scale, especially the one near Lincoln Center. And in collaboration with Columbia University's Teachers College, as well as Listen Gallery, who manages Sean Scully, BMA has developed a comprehensive curriculum to complement the exhibit, and the curriculum is available for free online as a PDF. And Sean Scully and his studio also kindly donated 300 printed books of the curriculum, which Andrew has, so I'm sure you'll be able to flip through them. And it's a really great curriculum. It's beautifully designed and it's K through 12, so it can really be used for any grade. But in addition to schools, we think that this would be a great resource for senior centers, community groups, anything where learning is prioritized. This curriculum would be a great fit. So we have a couple different ways in which you can access the curriculum. We have a link where you can download a PDF for free, which will be on the next slide. And like Andrew said, it's very interactive. And then we also have the books. So we have the 300 copies that Sean Scully kindly donated. And there is a Google form you can fill out to request up to 5 copies for your group or your school. And those are first come, first serve. And we're very happy that people have been interested in the curriculum so far.
No. Sorry, Donna. Give us
No
one
problem.
moment. Okay, yeah, please continue.
Yeah, I'll scroll to the links now. So here is the site that the Teachers College created where you can learn a bit more about the curriculum and download the PDF. So I'm sure this will be sent to the board, but if you have your phone now, you can scan the QR code.
All right, yeah, please send it for, definitely, but yeah.
If anybody wants a hard copy, I'm gonna leave these here with uniforms, yeah. Yeah.
And then I also have a link if you'd like to request a physical copy. And if you're in the area close to one of our 2 offices, we will hand deliver it to you happily. But if not, we will mail it to you.
And that we have 4 more of them. So yeah. Thanks, Donna.
Thank you.
Thanks, Donna.
Thank you all.
Are there any questions?
That's a good question. Donna kind of touched on it, but I might have gotten distracted, obviously. Are we involved with any schools? Or I know you said programs, but what
We'd
about?
like to distribute them to local schools, so
Okay.
by coming here, I think we wanted to get the conversation going.
Is there a
And
preference of age, of middle school, high school, elementary, no preference?
no preference, you know.
Okay.
Whoever has art programs, because this is a self-explanatory curriculum, it's all contained, any art teacher can use it right off the bat, and, you know, again, for K through 12, so it's geared to any age group, you know, but as Donna said too, but it's also great for families just to go out and actually experience the art, and senior centers, anyone, you know, that is interested in what they're seeing out on the malls. So, but we do encourage you to go. The one down at Lincoln Center is 20 feet tall and it's pretty amazing, but the one in Mitchell Square up by Columbia Presbyterian is just, it's just kind of beautiful because it's sitting right in the middle of the park, and you know, but anyway, you know, we're just excited because we want people to get out to the malls, experience it, you know, definitely the bugs and the bunnies too, but you know, the artwork. So, and Dee, thank you so much for
You're so
inviting.
very welcome, and I know that, you've been in touch with Daria. Have you been in touch with Daria and the Arts and Culture Committee?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know Michael, so.
And Brosis as well.
Right, absolutely. And I know there's schools like Seed, that's an exploratory learning, that's not the word, but yeah, learning school, so that's something,
Sure.
that I can actually connect
Yeah.
with as well.
And
Get it
we'll
hands-on.
make sure they get it quickly, and
Absolutely.
it goes till March, so we
Yeah,
want, yeah.
absolutely.
And also if it inspires kids too, we were talking about, you know, for the art on the malls to use this to create stencils or to create, you know, tapestries on the malls, we're all for that too. Get rid of that battleship brand.
Can you clarify what goes till March?
The sculptures will be up, and then we'll have another, you know, we keep going, you know, there'll be another one, but this one, we were very lucky because Teachers College did this, they found funding. So they did it on our behalf for free, and then the artist himself, paid to print these up for us, so that, again, this is one per teacher, or one per art program, and it opens up a whole world because there's links in this book, so you can see videos, you can really experience the work, and it's kind of neat because it brings, the moles bring everybody together. We're like the spine of the West Side.
Absolutely goes back to, the fact that one of the things that I shared that during COVID, when the tulips bloomed, the roses bloomed along the Broadway Mall. It just was something that just brought life in the midst of everything else that was kind of gloomy. To see those bright yellow flowers and all of those things, that was amazing.
Yeah. Thanks,
It's like
Dave.
a few seconds of respite when you're trying to cross Broadway.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of
Right.
traffic, you just want to get across.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
They're so
second to
heavily
life.
used, yeah.
They are, they really are.
But I see the new plants on 150th and 151st.
Yeah.
That's my block, and it's so nice.
Yeah.
And it's growing so good and lush, so I'm really excited.
Yes.
I'm very excited, thank you.
And 164 too, but that's out, yeah.
So they do have volunteer events.
Yes.
So come on out, it's like community volunteer events, come on out. And there's seniors and stuff.
Did anyone ever get on from record chorus?
Has me? I know, would you like to present? Would you like to share?
Sure.
Hi.
Tell us about yourself, who you are, where you're from.
Sure. So I'm Sharon Darris. I am Harlem native. I'm the executive director of an organization called the Reading Team. The Reading Team has been doing its work in Harlem for a 23-year period. I've been with the organization a year and a half. We do phonics-based instruction. We serve children pre-K through 5th grade through 2 programs. One of our programs, we have our teachers go to 9 different pre-K locations. They're doing all early-based phonics instruction in pre-K. It's looking like learning the alphabet, phonetical sounds, how S and H goes together, things of that nature. The second program that we have is an after-school program that we run out of 2 locations. One on Amsterdam and 140th, and the other one in PS 180, which is on 120th between Morningside and Manhattan. That after-school program, that is every day, 2:30 to 5:30. Kids are basically getting lots of additional literacy instruction. We take our literacy work very, very seriously. And as a result of that, we have really great results. We track ELA results for our kids, starting in 3rd grade. We see that the kids who are in our program, over 80% of them tend to pass the ELA exam, whereas in Harlem, it's probably closer to about a third. And then in our earlier grades, we do a pre and post test, and we see that children increase their literacy scores by about 50 percentiles over the course of the year. Very, very proud of that work. Between the 2 programs, we serve something like 300 kids across Harlem. In West Harlem, in this area, actually, we work with the pre-K that's across the street in Manhattanville complex over there. Our after-school program at the main location at 180 still has room for additional children, particularly 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. I think we've got a handful of openings in those. We're always looking for partners with people. Working in the community. So that's it in a nutshell.
Most of your students would be students bilingual.
No,
No.
they're overwhelmingly native speakers.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Because then you were saying they,
Literacy is a huge issue, making sure that kids are at grade level.
yeah, but ELA, isn't that English language acquisition? Because you said something about that.
so-
exam.
The-
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right. I'm sorry, okay,
Letter acronyms, right? TLA, 3-letter acronym.
Yeah, I have a one-woman war against acronyms. There's nothing more important than literacy. You are nowhere, man. You know what I mean? So it's critical. Oh.
We work with kids at a very early age, but one of the things that we like to talk about is that literacy opens the doors to everything and to being an informed citizen of the world and the country.
You'll be a victim if you can't.
Hopefully, we're at the ground level trying to help kids become strong readers and leaders.
Oh, God.
Do you guys use a particular curriculum or what set of products?
Yeah,
do you use?
so, we're all about phonics-based instruction, using mostly Orton Gillingham, if you're familiar with Orton Gillingham. There's a couple of canned, programs that we used, Reading Ready, and I'm forgetting the third one offhand, but happy to discuss.
Yeah.
And how about your funding?
So our funding, about 60% of it comes from foundations and 40% from individuals.
Nothing from the Department of Education? You don't work with any schools?
Or physically in school, I'm working on that.
So, you're in middle school right now? But
So
you
our so we work with 9 different pre-Ks, where our teachers go to those sites and they do instruction 3 days a week, hour and a half. That's our pre-K program. Then we have our after-school program, which is at 2 locations. And that's, every day, Monday through Friday during the school year, 3 o'clock to 5:30.
How do you
And that's,
find,
kindergarten through 3rd grade for after school.
are you at capacity? How do you do outreach?
So being in schools helps, for the after-school program. As I mentioned earlier, we have a few openings, we have a few slots open for our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade at the location at, PS 180. And so I think, for example, there might be, I think between the 3 grades, there might be like 15 openings.
Can I ask you a stupid question?
No question is stupid.
No, this might be. My experience is with higher ed, it's not, but wouldn't we expect this to happen in the school, a regular school setting? No, I see, it is a stupid question. Well, then it's being, well, it's underfunded, they're destroying public education in this
It's
state.
a big, bureaucratic organization spread in different ways and.
Well, it's not funded enough,
Why is
is really
this
what.
not happening in some places?
I'll say it really plain. They don't manage their money well. That's it. That's it. That is the bottom line.
I don't think
You
public
go-
education's getting enough money.
It's
Shanice.
obvious, and that's what we're writing in a different needs statement. But when
There
you
are-
go and
there
you
you
look
go.
at the things that are not being funded, the things that are being funded, and then the results out of that, the money is mishandled. And the only ones paying the price are the kids.
Yeah.
So it's impossible to try to explain this to these officials and say, hey, can you manage your money better? As far as they're concerned, they're handling it well. So it's an uphill battle.
Because somebody in my age bracket, we learned all this in the public schools, everything.
Well, the only other thing I'll just mention, our website is easy to find, all of our contact information, my contact information is there. It's readingteam.org, readingteam.org.
Gerard, what's your last name?
Darris, Darris.
Great, excellent. Is there anyone else that would like to, present, ask a question, share information, can enter any updates?
No, I just have more flyers. If you want.
We love flyers, we love flyers. John, you've been very quiet online. Any questions? No.
I'm muted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you are.
There I am. Hey, Lydia. No, just I definitely want to get in touch with Darius. You say Darius?
Sharon.
Darius? Siobhan?
Sherrod,
Sharon, Darris.
Siobhan, sorry. Siobhan, sorry about that. I definitely want to be in touch with you and find out more about your program. I'm working on bringing a general interest independent bookstore to Harlem, to the neighborhood. So obviously literacy and reading and children is something that's important to me and what I'm doing, because like you said, it's really the gateway to everything. If you don't know how to read, you literally can't do anything. So yeah, I'm really excited about what you're doing. I want to talk to you some more about that.
Sure.
All right, excellent.
You just inspired me to connect some threads. I think all the presentations I heard tonight are about inspiration, right? Just and connection. I also serve on the Landmarks Preservation and Parks. And what I hear in that committee is there's so much happening in our community gardens that are free and just getting our young people back into nature. We're talking about mental health, we're talking about creativity, we're talking about just aliveness in our brains as we decode the world around us. So just wanted to plug really using Green Thumbs and our local parks in your programming. I know it's getting cold out, but I think our reconnection to nature is so lacking and is really just a spark for all of these amazing initiatives, whether it's STEM. So just want to encourage us to utilize, find ways to do those field trips and get our young people out into our local gardens and parks.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, if you need BMA, we're there to help. We did a planting and Dee actually came down to
Right, we
72nd
got all some
Street.
young students from
And
high
just to
school,
clean,
college, everything.
yeah, the tree beds, take care and learn how to do that. We're happy to do that anytime with any group.
Tasha, thank you for your presentation. Thank you all for your presentation.
everybody.
So at this time, if we don't have any of the questions, comments, we're gonna close our meeting to just the committee. Invite you all to come back by, stop by anytime. We meet on the second Tuesday of every month at 6:30, either here or online.
Would you say
All right.
All right, good night, everyone.
You be sharing this too with
Thank you.
all of us.
We can.
I just wanna make sure.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, it doesn't get to right away, but
have like a student group.
I just wanna make sure I have everyone here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanna make sure that everyone signs or before you leave, even if you're just visiting and didn't present, please kind of sign it, please. That's the way so we can have your contact information.
Even just add your email, and we keep it on.
Yeah, there's a public form to sign.
Yeah, I signed.
Oh, you did already?
I don't think I signed the public form.
Well, that's the one you should sign.
Writing for the.
Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Good night, Miss Francine.
Thank you.
Love that. Love that for
Hey.
But also need
Oh,
working with. Start like after their front space, to run No, so essentially I built a research organization.
Very, your ex-husband was a lot more.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I just don't make him in life, but I don't know about in romance. I'm just.
Thank you.
I'm also really not balanced, but, well, look. I think that's crazy.